I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Hey, this is Matt. Once again, we're about to another review. This is another paid request, this time for Michael. For those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, feel free to send them either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for the film The Haunted from 1995. This is a film that, overall, it was okay. It was okay. It was nothing really scary or intense or creepy. Sometimes it felt like a British TV movie, like made for BBC or something. I don't know if it's just the cinematography or what was it, but it's not bad. Mostly because of Aidan Quinn's performance as the lead. That helped quite a bit. And there's a couple of decent, going for more of the old school, less is more, not over-the-top CGI orgasm-filled finales or anything. It's sort of a simple ghost story. Interesting enough, as I did a drink, directed by Lewis Gilbert. Why do I say that's interesting? Because this is the guy who directed James Bond films. The Spy Who Loved Me, which is my favorite Roger Moore film. Moonraker, You Only Live Twice with Sean Connery. So again, never would have thought a James Bond director made this. But it starts out with this little boy and girl, brother and sister, twins, playing around the countryside. An accident happens. Girl falls down, cracks her head, drowns. And the boy grows up to be Aidan Quinn. He's moved back to America. After the death of his sister, he's gone into psychology to look into the existence of ghosts, and he's a guy who doesn't believe. I did like the scene where they're doing a seance, and Aidan Quinn proves that it's all bullshit. You know, the ghost in the mirror and what that really is, and oh, this seance lady is saying this stuff. Well, actually, my mom wasn't Charlotte, and I don't even have an Aunt Lily. Okay, she's a fraud. I like that scene. Just showcase his investigation skills, and that sometimes it is bullshit. And so for him, it's all been bullshit. And I thought Aidan Quinn, who's a good actor, I remember him as the villain in Stakeout with Emilio Estevez and Richard Dreyfuss. He's been in quite a few other movies. Pretty much he's hired to see this old lady who the family calls, was it Nanny Tess? Nanny Tess, who says that she's been held prisoner by these ghosts. He gets there, he meets Kate Beckinsale before Underworld, and the 7 or so movies after that, in that franchise. Kate Beckinsale's there with her 2 brothers, and they keep Nanny Tess company. And then the film is kind of a bit slow. It's not the most exciting film to me. It's a lot of either flirting with Kate Beckinsale, getting to know her. Once in a while, there's little stuff. He turns at a piano, he sees a pair of legs. He turns back, there's nothing there. Or a door's held shut, he can't open it. Or he turns on a light. And this was pretty good. The explosion happens, real fire. I'm on the ceiling, it's a neat shot. Guess Lewis getting a little bit of his James Bond expertise to showcase that. Or he falls through the water and these weeds are pulling him in. Then we just pulled out. What are you talking about? There's no weeds in the water. So now he's wondering what's going on, what's happening. I thought it was a bit weird. He sees Kate Beckinsale kiss her brother. And he's weirded out for a minute, but then he just goes back to fawning over Kate Beckinsale. I'm like, okay, if I'm with a lady and I see her French kissing her brother, bets are off. I mean, call me a prude, but I'm like, I don't need your brother's lips on my lips. Just not my cup of tea. But okay, But he said there's a couple of decent moments. Like there's a bit in the basement cellar area where he's walking around, and it's a cool. On the floor, these little bits of fire pops up, like almost like tiny candles from the floor. Looks cool, simple but cool. And the whole place sets on fire. And this is back in the day when it would actually be real fire. Nowadays it'd be CGI fire, all in a fucking green screen, looking fake and phony. And I would say this, if you like old school haunted movies that are based more on subtlety, which I from time to time do like. The Legend of Hell House I quite enjoy with Roddy McDowall, for example. And I said that, and Aidan Quinn's performance. I think because just the cinematography, the way it looks, I wish it had more of a richer atmosphere. Whether it be to the mansion, like the color scheme, just something about the cinematography made it look like a TV movie. I don't know what it is, or like a. So I kept thinking this looks like something I would see on the BBC. It has that almost fuzzy, but that's not. I don't know how to describe it. I have no idea how to describe it. Maybe it's where I saw it. Maybe that's not the movie's fault. I don't know. Maybe people are like, what the fuck are you talking about? I can't quite explain it. But that's the thing with this type of movie, that is an essential. That's one of the reasons why I like the 1999 House on Haunted Hill remake. Not because of the CGI finale, but because of the look of the house and the way it's shot, and the Legend of Hell House back in the day captured that. The Changeling, George C. Scott, another great movie. So I do think there are better haunted, ghost story movies. As I am going into John Carpenter's The Fog and other films I love. Like I said, Aidan Quinn, capable lead. You feel for the guy because of what happened to his sister long ago, and he wants to help this lady Tess, and she's like, you don't see them? And he's trying to get her to talk to him. And these little things that keep happening, amping up. I will say, though, another positive is the actual story. Again, the spoilers. 3, 2, 1. Spoilers. That's another thing that made this film decent, was the way the story followed through in the third act. Where you find out that the three people he's been watching, the Kate Beckinsale, the two brothers, they're dead. They're ghosts. I'm like, okay, that's an interesting idea. And this other ghost led him to the cemetery to showcase it, and it's his sister. I like the idea of his sister helping him. Because I don't know why, that's something you don't see. I wouldn't say you never see that, but more rare than you think. But it makes sense. If there are ghosts, why wouldn't his sister help him out? Again, if ghosts exist, what about the ghosts of yesteryear? I mean, I guess that happened in like Poltergeist 2 at the end, where Joe Beth Williams' mom helps out, and like I says, usually if they're there, it's not really them, it's an evil incarnation, or it's an evil force pretending to be them, or something else. But I kind of like that, this bad ghost, good ghost, difference between the two. Sometimes I'm not 100% sure on the motivation of the ghosts. Because they say the reason that they're torturing this nanny Tess is because she found that they were all three sleeping with each other. Incest. Fucking and jucking and fucking and tucking. Nipping and tucking dicks into sisters' assholes. And that's their fucking fetish. Ain't my fetish. In some parts they're called illegal, let alone immoral, and like, fuck, inbreeders. Fucking inbreeders. So you already know they're evil. I mean, so they're torturing. She found out. She burned the place up. Though they died, so now they want revenge. And then they do this looked silly, this ring around the fucking Rosie fast spin with Nanny Tess as if they're fucking Sonic the Hedgehog, ready to catch some rings. That looked pretty fucking silly. And then afterward, Nanny's dead, and then they want... But the reason I said the motivation is a bit weird, okay, the Nanny Tess, she killed them, they want revenge, I get that. But why they want Aidan Quinn there... Because they invite him, and Kate Beckinsale flirts with him, but then they keep saying, yeah, you could go ahead and leave. I want you to leave. The other brothers keep saying, I want you to leave. I want you to leave. I want you to leave. What if you just left? But then they want him to stay. Which is it? Do you want him to leave or do you want him to stay? Why are you pushing him to leave so much? And he could have. I guess that was just to fuck with him some more. For playtime. Anyway, the way it ends, everything's on fire. Practical fire. Do you have credit to that Aidan Quinn? I mean, it's dangerous stuff, being around a whole place on fire. You could easily get burned. I like that the sister helps him out, the fire dissipates. Nice scene where he says goodbye to his sister. Again, that portion of the story was a bit heartwarming. Was a bit nice. Although, then he comes back home, and then someone's following him as T. Beckinsale. I went, what? Like, how does that work? Like, within the rules, if Kate Beckinsale could just leave anytime she wanted as a ghost, why the fuck didn't she? Why the fuck did she stay at the mansion the whole time? She could have gone where the fuck she wanted. Were they just leaving room for a sequel? Were they just trying to have a duh? I don't think that was needed. And just, again, it evokes more questions. Why is it just her? Where are her two brothers? Why is it just her? Why... Again, if she could follow Aidan Quinn, why didn't she fucking go wherever the fuck she wanted? I don't know. Again, it just invokes more questions to me. So I didn't really care for that little bit. Like I said, the movie is not the most exciting or scary or intense or thrilling. Yeah, I'm sorry, it's just not. Maybe because I've seen a lot of haunted house ghost story movies. I did maybe because of cinematography, so it doesn't really invoke a lot of creepy moments. Like I said, parts of the story, like the deal with his sister and that bit of the ending, I didn't mind. Interesting to see Kate Beckinsale in an earlier role before she did the Underworld movies. Aidan Quinn giving, I would say, the best performance in the film. And like I say, if you like, and you're a sucker for the original The Haunting, and you want to see every movie dealing with ghosts and the haunted house aspect, there's much worse you could do than Haunted. There's much, much worse stuff. It's just, I don't know if I would ever see myself watching this again. I mean, I would probably give this maybe 3 out of 5 stars. Just for, the stuff I said. So I don't keep repeating 18 fucking times like I usually do. The music worked fine for the film. It wasn't awful, terrible, out of the blue. It wasn't, oh, this doesn't fit, or this fucking sucks, or it sounds like a cat hanging himself. No, the music is fine. The other actors, they do fine. Kate Beckinsale, beautiful lady. Not a bad actress. Yeah, like I said, if you like old school ghost stories, it's worth a watch. But like I said, it's nothing I would ever see again. So it was okay. It was an okay film to me. With that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.